There is only one presence and one power active within me and throughout the universe. God, the good, omnipotent.
Hello, and welcome to our podcast. This is Unity Church of Chatsworth. Our spiritual leader, Reverend John Washington, and I am Michelle Washington, RN, pastoral nurse.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. Paraphrasing from the book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 8. And he, Herod, sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also. When they heard the king, they departed, and lo, a star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the child was.
From the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, edited by Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity. The metaphysical meaning of Herod. Herod, the ruling will of the physical, the ego in the sense consciousness. This ruling ego is temporal because it does not understand humankind's true origin or the law of humankind's true being. It is narrow, jealous, and destructive. Under the ego's rule, an individual does not fulfill the true law of their being.
We have King Herod, who is very well known, by the way. He believed in parties and spectacles and all kinds of activities that are of the, I'm going to call it addiction to excitement area,
Okay.
perhaps. And now we have the introduction. And again, I wanted to say, yes, it was for me hearing a lesson from Atlanta, Georgia, by a minister down there in Atlanta, Georgia, whose name is Michael Yosef, who said that when the wise ones came, they didn't ride 3 camels.
All right. Yeah.
He said they probably came with an army of folks riding on horses, and therefore there was a reason why King Herod, initially meeting the wise ones, was afraid, Michelle. So on an intuitive level, and from a respect for a scholar, in terms of Michael Yosef, I kind of thought, this guy knows what he's talking about here.
And it makes sense.
It makes sense. They rode horses.
They weren't going to carry all those precious gifts by themselves.
All right, yes.
Yes.
And again, we are using, and again, the idea of unity principle that talks about prayer and affirmations today. And you know, when we talk about prayer and affirmation, sometimes I like to say, adding to it, it's a matter of faith.
Yes.
Belief and faith in these stories as being meaningful, not just as they were written in the book of Matthew, but for us, yes, Michelle, as we're approaching 2025.
Yes.
It is not I, but the Christ within who does the work.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Have a blessed week.